You know that friend who always cancels plans? The one who's sick again, tired again, or says maybe next time? Yeah, that friend isn't avoiding you on purpose. They're protecting something important to them. If you're the type who gets way more excited about a Friday night in comfy pajamas than going out to a party, then welcome. You're about to feel really understood. Today, we're diving into the psychology of people who love staying at home. The ones society labels as boring, but science sees in a whole different light. Let's start with the basics. Extroverts recharge by being around people. Their energy comes from the noise, the crowds, the excitement of social stuff. But introverts and folks who prefer being alone, they recharge in quiet moments. Every social interaction, even if it's fun, slowly drains their energy like a phone battery running low. And home is the only place that truly charges them back up. Psychologists talk about this as optimal arousal theory. It means some people need a lot of stimulation to feel good, while others need just a little. It's not about being lazy or scared. It's how their brain and nervous system are built. But it's not just introversion at play here. Some people love staying home because it gives them a sense of control they can't find anywhere else. Out in the world, things are unpredictable. You might run into loud strangers, plans change at the last minute, or you have to make small talk with people who don't really care what you say. At home, though, you control everything: the lights, the sounds, the overall feel of the place. For people with anxiety or who are highly sensitive, that control isn't just nice to have, it's what keeps them going. It's like a shield against the chaos outside. Let me tell you something interesting. Studies have shown that people who enjoy being alone are often more creative, more thoughtful about themselves, and better at solving problems. Staying home isn't about doing nothing. It's where great ideas come from. Not in a noisy bar with distractions everywhere, but in a peaceful spot with a book or just letting your mind wander at 2 a.m. And honestly, society makes a big deal out of being out and about. Think about all the influencers posting party pics, the live your best life vibes that scream you have to be social to be happy. But what if your best life is watching a documentary, eating some warm soup, and having no plans at all? That's not sad. That's knowing yourself well. Now, let's get into the darker side, because not everyone stays home for happy reasons. Some do it because of social anxiety, past trauma, or depression that quietly says, "What's the point of going out?" For them, home turns into both a safe spot and a trap. It's important to figure out, are you staying home because it makes you feel full and content, or because leaving feels too overwhelming? One is true peace, the other is hiding from life. But for those who really love it, they're not missing out, they're just living in their own way. They find happiness in little routines, like making morning coffee just right, sitting in their favorite chair, or watching how the sunlight comes into the room at sunset. These are things most people hurry past without noticing. Psychologists call this low stimulation preference. These people don't need the outside world to keep them entertained. Their inner world is plenty rich on its own. So, if you're the one who says no to invitations without feeling bad, who feels truly happy on a solo Saturday, who'd rather binge watch an old favorite show than go make new memories, you're not broken. You're wired for deep thoughts over loud crowds, for calm over showing off. Tell me in the comments, do you prefer staying home? Or do you think we're all just making excuses? And if you want psychology stuff that hits close to home, the kind most people don't hear about themselves, the next video will surprise you even more. Click it, you'll see why. Okay, let's expand on this a bit more because there's so much to unpack when we talk about the psychology behind loving to stay at home. First off, let's go deeper into what makes someone an introvert versus an extrovert. This idea comes from Carl Jung, a famous psychologist from way back. He said that introverts turn inward for energy, while extroverts look outward. But it's not black and white. Most people are somewhere in the middle, called ambiverts. Still, for those who lean heavily toward introversion, social events can feel exhausting. Imagine your energy like a tank of gas. For extroverts, being with people fills it up. For introverts, it leaks out with every conversation. Home is where they refuel, no questions asked. Think about a real-life example. Say you have a job where you deal with people all day. Maybe you're a teacher, a salesperson, or even just someone in an office with constant meetings. By the end of the day, you're wiped out. The last thing you want is to go to a happy hour or a family gathering. Instead, you crave your couch, some quiet music, and maybe a hobby like reading or drawing. That's not avoiding life. That's taking care of your mental health. Science backs this up. Research from the University of Virginia shows that introverts have more blood flow in the parts of the brain that handle planning and problem solving, which thrive in low stimulation environments. Now, about that control aspect, it's huge. In a world full of surprises, home is predictable. You decide when to eat, what to watch, even what temperature the room is. For highly sensitive people, HSPs, a term coined by psychologist Elaine Aron, this is crucial. HSPs process things deeply. They notice subtle sounds, smells, and emotions that others miss. Going out can overload their senses, leading to stress or burnout. At home, they can dial everything down to a comfortable level. It's like having a personal sanctuary, but let's not ignore the creative side. History is full of famous homebodies who changed the world. Isaac Newton did his best work during a plague lockdown, staying isolated and coming up with gravity theories. Emily Dickinson, the poet, rarely left her house but wrote profound stuff about life and death. Staying home gives your brain space to connect dots that get lost in daily hustle. A study in the journal Personality and Individual Differences found that people who prefer solitude score higher on creativity tests. They daydream, reflect, and innovate without interruptions. Society pushes the opposite, though. Social media shows everyone out having fun, trips, parties, adventures. It can make home lovers feel like they're doing something wrong. But that's just cultural bias. In some places, like Japan, there's even a word for it, hikikomori, where people withdraw to home for long periods. While extreme cases need help, milder versions are just a preference. Your best life doesn't have to match Instagram's version. Shifting to the darker psychology, this is where it gets real. Dark psychology often explores the hidden, sometimes manipulative or self-destructive sides of the mind. For some, staying home starts as a choice but becomes a habit driven by fear. Social anxiety disorder affects millions. It's that intense worry about being judged in social situations. Past trauma, like bullying or abuse, can make the outside world feel unsafe. Depression creeps in, making everything seem pointless. Home becomes a cage because stepping out triggers panic or sadness. Imagine someone who's been hurt in relationships. They stay home to avoid more pain, but it leads to isolation, which worsens depression. It's a cycle. Psychologists use cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, to break it, challenging thoughts like, everyone will think I'm weird. But if it's not addressed, it can turn into agoraphobia, fear of leaving home at all. On the flip side, some use staying home manipulatively, dark psychology alert. They might cancel plans to control friends or avoid responsibilities, playing the victim card. Or in relationships, one partner prefers home to limit the other's social life, subtly isolating them. That's not healthy. It's controlling. But for genuine home lovers, it's about self-care. They build rich inner lives, hobbies, learning, personal growth. Think journaling about your thoughts, learning a new skill online, or just enjoying nature from your window. These small joys add up. Psychologists also link this to attachment styles. If you had a secure childhood, staying home feels safe and voluntary. Insecure attachments might make it a defense mechanism. Understanding your why is key. Let's talk routines. Home lovers thrive on them. Morning coffee ritual, grinding beans, brewing slowly, savoring the aroma. It's mindfulness in action. Or evening wind down, dim lights, soft blanket, favorite podcast. These anchor you, reducing stress hormones like cortisol. Studies from Harvard show solitude boosts sympathy too. You understand yourself better, so you relate to others more deeply when you do interact. In our busy world, staying home is a rebellion. It says, I don't need constant stimulation to be happy. It's anti-hustle culture. If you're a home lover, embrace it. Set boundaries. Tell friends you need recharge time. Balance with occasional outings to avoid isolation. For those hiding, seek help. Talk to a therapist. Small steps like a short walk can build confidence. In the end, loving home is about authenticity. Whether for peace or darker reasons, understand it, own it.